What if the hero you admire never walked his path alone, but followed a silent contract whispered by a goddess? In the first breath of his wanderings, Athena cloaked Odysseus in wisdom, yet bound him to a secret pact that steered every decision. The allied deity promised victory, but demanded obedience, turning the king's cunning into a divine choreography. You feel the weight of that hidden alliance shaping every storm he faces. When the Sirens' haunting melody drifts across the sea, it is not merely a lure of sweet sound. It mirrors the paradox of homecoming versus complacent safety. Their song promises a painless return to familiar shores, yet threatens to erase the fire that drives a warrior onward. By plugging his crew's ears while he alone endures the enchantment, Odysseus confronts the choice between surrendering to comfort or pressing toward destiny. Their echo becomes a test of will, a reminder that true refuge is earned, not given. The chaos of the suitors is more than reckless decadence. It is a covert power struggle ignited by Ithaca's vacant throne. With Penelope's loom left unattended, nobles seize the palace, each hoping to claim the kingdom through marriage. Their rebellion masks a calculated bid for succession, a political chess game hidden beneath wine-filled feasts and idle gossip. Their presence forces Odysseus to confront not only personal betrayal, but the very foundations of rule. Even the Cyclops' single eye glows with a darker significance, an ancient metaphor for surveillance in brutal warfare. Polyphemus watches his realm with a solitary gaze, and when that eye is blotted out, the giant's terror spreads like a city stripped of privacy. The hero's clever blinding becomes a symbolic breach of omniscient control, exposing how visibility can become a weapon against the oppressed. You sense the lingering threat of being constantly observed, even in mythic battle. The Lotus Eater's fruit offers a seductive escape, a narcotic that erases longing and replaces it with tranquil forgetfulness. Their golden petals whisper promises of eternal ease, tempting Odysseus's crew to abandon ambition for blissful inertia. By refusing the sweet surrender, the hero guards his resolve, illustrating the psychological trap of escapism that can dissolve purpose. Their garden becomes a cautionary oasis where dreams dissolve into complacent haze. Finally, Odysseus's return is no simple homecoming. It is a mythic reset that rewrites heroism, identity, and the price of reclaiming a throne. The hidden narrative reveals a king who must sacrifice everything, trust, compassion, even his own humanity, to restore order. As the palace doors swing open, you are left to wonder, what cost does true leadership demand, and how many unseen contracts still shape the legends we cherish? You never see the whispered bargain between Athena and the wily king of Ithaca. In the darkness of Troy's ashes, the goddess offers him a silver thread of guidance, but each knot she ties pulls his destiny toward her own divine agenda. Every storm he survives, every island he lands on, bears Athena's subtle signature, shaping his choices long before he lifts his own oar. You hear the Sirens' song echoing across the rock cliff, a melody that promises safe harbor and the sweet taste of home. Yet the verses conceal a paradox. The lure of return masks a trap of complacency, where sailors trade ambition for eternal lullaby. Their harmonious warning forces you to choose between the comfort of certainty and the peril of stagnation. You step into the hall of Ithaca and witness the suitors' rebellion, a chaotic banquet that hides a calculated bid for power. Their feasting is not mere greed. Each cup raised is a vote for a new ruler, a covert war of succession to fill the vacuum Athena left behind. The palace becomes a battlefield where loyalty is measured in silver, not honor. You stare into the single eye of Polyphemus, and the stone-capped cavern transforms into an ancient surveillance hub. The Cyclops' gaze watches every footstep, a reminder that even primitive war carries a network of observation and loss of privacy. When Odysseus blinds the monster, he shatters more than sight. He disrupts a system that once recorded every move of his crew. You taste the lotus, a fragrant fruit that drifts your mind into a hazy reverie of endless ease. Its sweetness is a psychological snare, a seductive promise that erases the urgency of your quest and lulls you into permanent escape. Odysseus' fury in burning the fields is a desperate act to cut the threads of complacency before his resolve dissolves. You finally see his return not as a simple homecoming, but as a mythic reset that rewrites the code of heroism. Every hidden pact, every siren's lore, every political intrigue collapses into a single truth. Leadership demands the sacrifice of self, even the god-touched threads that once guided you. As the doors close behind the slain suitors, you are left to ask, what unseen contracts still bind the legends you cherish? You feel Athena's whisper like a secret pact stitched into the night sky, a promise that turns every storm into a stepping stone. She grants you cunning, but in return she plants a divine compass that nudges your choices toward a destiny she designs. Every detour, every battle, is a thread of her hidden agenda, shaping the hero's path before you even set sail. The Sirens' song is not merely a deadly lure, it mirrors the seductive promise of homecoming that masks complacency. Their melody drapes your mind in images of hearth and safety, yet each note conceals a trap that would freeze your ambition. You learn that the yearning for peace can be as perilous as any monster lurking in the waves. Behind the suitors' revelry lies a covert war of succession, a political vortex that swallows Ithaca's fragile stability. Their rebellion is fueled by a power vacuum, each arrogant toast a claim to the throne that Odysseus abandoned. You recognize that their chaos is less about lust for Penelope and more about a calculated bid to rewrite the island's hierarchy. Polyphemus' single eye becomes a stark metaphor for ancient surveillance, a relentless gaze that strips warriors of privacy. When you blind the Cyclops, you shatter not just a monster's sight, but the omnipresent watchfulness of an empire that monitors every move. The loss of that eye reminds you that warfare has always been about controlling information as much as crushing bodies. The Lotus Eater's fruit offers a fragrant escape, a psychological snare that threatens your resolve with blissful forgetfulness. Their golden petals lull you into a dream where time stands still, erasing the urgency of your quest. You see that the sweetest distraction can erode a hero's purpose, turning triumph into stagnation. When you finally stride through the battered doors of your hall, the scene is a mythic reset, an unveiling of what heroism truly demands. The hidden narratives converge, redefining your identity not as a mere returner, but as a rebuilder of order. As the echo of fallen suitors fades, you are left to wonder, which unseen contracts still bind the legends you cherish, and what price must you pay to honor them? You feel Athena's whisper in the night, a secret pact sealed between goddess and wanderer. She cloaks herself as mentor, nudging you toward the Strait of Scylla and away from tempting shortcuts. Every decisive turn, whether you trust the wind or the sword, carries her hidden hand, shaping the hero's path long before you set foot on Ithaca. The Sirens' song drifts across the waves, a seductive echo of homecoming that masks a deeper danger. Their melody promises the comfort of hearth and kin, yet it lures sailors into complacency, forgetting the peril of surrendering ambition. You plug your ears, but the lingering refrain reminds you that even the sweetest return can bind a soul to stagnation. Behind the raucous feasting of the suitors lies a calculated power play, a covert war of succession sparked by Ithaca's empty throne. Their rebellion is not merely drunken bravado, it is a calculated bid to claim the kingdom's riches and legitimacy. You sense the political undercurrents, the silent alliances that turn a banquet hall into a battlefield of intrigue. Polyphemus's single eye does more than see, it watches, an ancient symbol of surveillance that strips warriors of privacy. When you blind the Cyclops, you break not only his sight, but the omnipresent gaze that once monitored every move on the island. The loss of that eye reveals how ancient warfare was as much about control of information as it was about strength of arm. The Lotus Eater's fruit glows like a promise of eternal ease, a psychological trap that tempts you to abandon purpose. One bite dulls the memory of struggle, turning a fierce wanderer into a contented drifter. You reject the allure, knowing that escapism erodes the resolve needed to reclaim a shattered throne. When you finally stand among the fallen, the mythic reset is complete, a rebirth forged from hidden contracts, unseen motives, and silent watches. Your return redefines heroism, forcing you to confront the cost of order and the identity you now wear. Which unseen threads still bind the legends you cherish, and what price are you willing to pay to honor them? From the moment you set sail, Athena weaves a secret pact with you, Odysseus. Her allies watch every tide, nudging you toward riddles that test pride and cunning. The goddess does not simply aid, she steers your choices, ensuring the hero's path aligns with the divine agenda hidden from mortal eyes. Beyond the cliffs, the Sirens' song becomes a mirror of your longing for Ithaca. Their melody promises a sweet return, yet it masks the danger of complacency, settling for fame without the peril of struggle. You hear the lullaby and must decide whether home is a beacon or a trap cloaked in honeyed sound. In the halls of your palace, the suitors' rebellion hides a political calculus. Their feasting masks a covert war of succession, each banquet a claim on Ithaca's vacant throne. You sense that their aggression stems not merely from desire, but from a calculated effort to fill the power vacuum left by your absence. The Cyclops Polyphemus watches through a single unblinking eye, turning the cave into an ancient surveillance tower. That eye records every step, stripping you of privacy and echoing the fear of being observed by unseen forces. When you blind the giant, you shatter the watchful gaze, but also reveal how vulnerability becomes a weapon. The island of the Lotus Eaters offers a fruit that dulls ambition, a sugary escape that erodes your resolve. Each fight pulls you deeper into a dream of timeless ease, a psychological trap that threatens to replace the arduous journey with eternal complacency. You must reject the seduction, for the true Odyssey lies beyond the fragrant haze. At last you step across the threshold of your hall, the hidden narrative of your return flickering like a mythic reset. Your triumph redefines heroism, showing that identity is forged not merely by conquest, but by the willingness to confront unseen contracts and silent watches. What cost will you accept to wear the crown of a reclaimed throne, and how will the hidden threads of your story shape the legends yet to rise? You never saw the silent pact inked between Athena and Odysseus, a covenant whispered on the wind of Ithaca's shores. In your mind's eye, the goddess's feathered wing becomes a strategic hand, nudging his choices toward a destiny she alone could chart. Every storm he braves, every island he lands upon, bears her subtle signature. Listen to the Sirens' song, and you hear more than danger. You hear the seductive promise of homecoming. Their melody mirrors the pull of familiar comforts, a lullaby that threatens to anchor you to complacency. You must steer past their chorus, lest the echo of comfort drown the fire that drives your quest. The suitors' rebellion is not merely reckless greed, it is a covert power play ignited by Ithaca's sudden vacuum. Their feasting in the hall masks a calculated bid for succession, each cup raised a vote for a new ruler. You sense the undercurrent of politics, a hidden war that wages behind every broken plate. The Cyclops' single eye watches like an ancient surveillance tower, its gaze stripping away the illusion of privacy on the battlefield. When Polyphemus blinds you, you seize the only source of his omniscient stare, turning his own surveillance against him. In that moment, the loss of privacy becomes a weapon, and the hero learns to fight unseen watchers. The Lotus Eater's blossom offers a sweet escape, a narcotic that erases longing and blurs purpose. Their fruit is a psychological trap, a seductive fog that promises eternal ease while draining resolve. You must reject the lull, remembering that true victory lies beyond comfort, in the hard-won path back to your throne. At last your return erupts as a mythic reset, rewriting what heroism means. The hidden narrative reveals that identity is forged not by sheer conquest, but by confronting divine contracts, political intrigue, and the inner sirens that whisper doubt. What hidden threads will you untangle in your own Odyssey? Embrace the unseen layers, and let the legends you uncover guide the next chapter of your life.